Climate change will have far-reaching consequences on the poor and marginalized groups, among which the majority depend on agriculture for their livelihoods and have a lower capacity to adapt. Weather-related crop failures, fishery collapses and livestock deaths, in addition to losses of property, are already causing economic losses and undermining food security in West Africa. The situation is likely to become more desperate and to threaten the survival of the majority of poor farmers as global warming continues, but with the introduction of climate-smart agriculture, the situation will change in Ghana. One of such places practicing climate-smart agriculture is B-Bovid. Correspondent Ina Thalia Kwanzaa has visited their agroforestry model and has come through with this report.
Climate change is now a global reality playing out in the world. Climate change, more than anything else, poses existential threats not only to humans, but to aquatic and plant life as well. The situation is not different in Ghana, as large tracts of vegetations are destroyed in preparing lands for farming purposes. However, there seems to be a model that introduced a paradigm shift, that is climate-smart agriculture. Its model being championed by the group B-Bovid, a social enterprise which operates in the Ahanta West municipality of the Western region. B-Bovid operates a social inclusive model of agriculture based on people, plants, and profits.
And we have, so going by that, it means that we have 3 big dugouts here that harvest rain, which means that for us, the 100 acres we have here, we can do maize, vegetable, whatever throughout the year, which is great. And this is some of the technology. So not relying on too much on rainwater. And once it comes, at least we get some for continuous cultivation.
The model promotes diverse land use as an alternative to monoculture and empowers smallholder farmers through capacity building and provision of inputs. This enhances and ensures sustained livelihoods and the conversion of the environment through biodiversity. Issa Wadrago is Chief Executive Officer for B-Bovid.
The essence of this whole project is about the things that we're experiencing right now, the global warming that we're experiencing, or what we are calling the climate change, and it's affecting all of us. And we, in this area, we are so blessed, and the question is, what can we do to mitigate it or to prepare ourselves so we don't experience that much like other people are. Right now, we've trained about 2,000 people, but we did this particular project with the German Climate Fund. We are targeting extra 4,000 people. You've seen what we've done, and we hope that with this we can let people understand firsthand to see what they can do. Maybe they are not experiencing the full scale of climate change, but at least know what they can do or they should do to protect themselves in case we start experiencing them. We all know the global issue about climate change. It started a long time ago. It's never going to leave us. So it's not something you say, I'm doing it for 1 month, 2 months. What we are hoping, though, is that people will see and appreciate it and maybe come to our support so that we expand it and make it, get more or wider audience to learn about this issue.
Through innovation and uses of modern farming methods, bush burning is non-existent. No waste of raw materials, as the animals being reared on this farm and the plants are interdependent. The animals are fed with some of the produce from the plants, and their droppings also serving as manure for plants. Emmanuel Ofori Taiko, District Agri Director, speaks on the effect of climate change on agriculture in the Ahanta West municipality.
So in this regard, we are trying to tell them that with the livestock production, they could also make sure that the vegetation under the crops shouldn't be sprayed. But when you spray those vegetations, they poison the vegetation. And they also, when the animals go for it, it kills them. So we are saying that they shouldn't spray those vegetations, rather keep them safe or slash them. This will keep the temperature in the soil safe for plant growth and for vegetation to also grow.
Mill manager S.O. Baini speaks about the benefits of practicing climate-smart agriculture.
It's mainly for repair works and servicing of the mill. We have the lathe machine, we have the drilling machine, we have the shaping machine, and other equipment which actually we use to service the mill. But without the workshop, normally you have to send it to town, which costs so much. When there's a problem, for instance, you have to go to town, they have to do the refilling, machine, bring it back, and it might be too late. You cannot stop production as well. And so all those ones, when we think it could be done here, we do it here. But the major ones, those ones are sent to town, to the bigger workshops for it to be done. But we have the special people who are also competent enough to handle everything that is supposed to be done.
In a response to a global action to reinforce measures to mitigate the impact of climate change, particularly on agriculture in the Western region, B-Bovid Tractor, in collaboration with the German embassy, will train and educate a total of 4,000 people, 3,000 farmers, and 1,000 students from 25 communities in the Mpoho and Ahanta West municipalities of the Western region.
And that's my colleague right there, Ina Thalia Kwanzaa, reporting from Angu in the Second D, Takoradi Metropolis. Well, joining me in studio on the back of what you've seen, I'm sure there are so many questions that you want to ask. We want to get into a lot more with Isa Quadrigo, Chief Executive Officer of B-Bovid, which is an acronym I'm learning, by the way, Building Business on Values, Integrity and Dignity. So B-Bovid won the overall Best National Oil Palm Farmers Award back in 2008. It also won the Western Regional Overall Best Farmer Award in 2013 and 2017 and was honored by the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo last year for winning the Best Businessman Award organized by the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry for 2016. So you've done quite a bit.
Yep.
Many awards. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Your 2017 award, was this existed then?
Sure.
What we've just seen?
Right.
Okay. Is it the awards that have propelled you into all these things that we're seeing now?
No. It is the other way around. It is when I started doing these things that the awards started coming in. So it was as a result of these activities that awards came in.
Okay. Let's talk about what you've recently launched.
Right.
Explain, why is this important?
The climate change is so important because of the things we are experiencing now globally and also in Africa or Ghana here. It's been a long time in coming, looking at the global issues, flooding, change of rain pattern, the weather over losing villages to sea and all that.
True.
And these are some of the things that we've been experiencing over the years. But right now in Ghana, you can see that even the rainy season, we're supposed to have it within June and July. We saw what happened.
Okay, so you are a farmer. Now that you've got, what is happening? I mean, it's raining. It's been raining.
Yes, supposed to be in July and August. So this is what we call the climate change. Things have changed. Either they over happened or it doesn't happen. That is what we're experiencing now. And we cannot continue to do that. We have to do something. I'm sure you saw that in India where people have to carry masks, or in Belgium, in China. We are not having that yet.
Even in the U.S.
Exactly.
now, with the U.S. Open, people are
this
not playing
morning
well because of
in
the
Washington, you should go back to see the temperature that they've never experienced before. These are some of the issues that are real, and we have to do something about them. And that is why we are taking this initiative to educate people to understand. Even though we are not having the full scale of it today, we should prepare ourselves so in case it happens. Of course, it's happened already.
Yeah,
but
it is happening
already.
Except that we probably have not seen it on that scale.
We're denying it. We're denying it globally. We're denying, even President Trump says it's not happening. We are denying it one way or the other. If you want to go into it, become too philosophical or academical. But we are denying it as human beings. And that is where the problem is. But here in Ghana, we need to do something so that we can prepare slightly. I mean, it's a global issue, it's nature which we cannot change. But what can we do? And that is why we are doing this campaign.
Let's talk about your model.
Yeah.
How long has it existed? And when you started, what was the climate like?
I used to be the African lead trainer on Millennium Development Goals. And I used to travel a lot in Africa and the world. And these are always the issues people talk about, economic development, women in agriculture, climate change and all that. But knowing where I come from, a village near Takoradi, and knowing the kind of people who are farming, and I hear all these big words in conferences in the world, and I'm like, it's 2 worlds apart. We can't continue in big cities having big conferences in big hotels when the poor farmer who is actually experiencing this is not represented or is not being told what is happening. So these were some of the things that pushed me to come back home to initiate that. So in doing so, I established the ICT Center to educate farmers. So the first time we have ICT Center for farmers. We have Alternative Livelihood Center where we have grass cutter, pigs, cattle, goat, sheep, fish pond for tilapia and all the guinea fowl, to educate farmers. If you're a cocoa farmer, in our case, for example, oil palm, you can integrate other things, 2 or 3 models, other guinea fowls or piggery. So you can imagine.
On the same farm?
On the same farm. So imagine if you have 500 farmers or 1,000 farmers, 500 having 2 commodities of this. You've already created a value chain of those commodities. Now, oil palm. In our case, like oil palm, we want to help them to integrate timber trees, which is also unique in Africa. We'll be the second enterprise to do that. It's happening only once in Brazil, South America somewhere.
But how do you use that?
This thing can be done even with cocoa, with coffee. You will incorporate timber trees like mahogany or timber trees that are beneficial to you. Timber trees like mahogany, cassia, precursor, we know that they are very, very good. So you incorporate them. You don't rely only on one particular cash crop. And then again, you have 2 or 3 animals on your farm. These are all giving you a multiple revenue. So for a farmer, one farmer does not depend on only one particular crop for an income. These are some of the things we
So you've been training farmers for a while now.
Exactly.
Have you seen a change? What's been the trend?
Yes, we've seen a change. Many farmers really appreciate that, at least having the opportunity to sit in a place where they think it was only meant for educated people, telling them the way to deal with their phones, to access information on their products, telling them what they can do on a piece of land, like having guinea fowls, piggery. One day I will invite you to come and see most of.
You should. I'll be happy to.
So these are the things we need to do. And if we say Ghana is on an agricultural economy, then we should be able to. And we have 65% of our population being farmers. Then we should not import any food. We've not experienced the full scale of climate change yet. We have all that it takes to produce agricultural goods. So why are we importing food? These are the things we're talking about.
So the core message that you're sending to these people that you train, you also train students, by the way. That's one of them. Yeah. Do they get the whole climate change? Do they get it?
Sure, they do.
Things are not the same. Things will continue to change.
Yeah, we show them pictures, what is happening globally and what is happening here in Ghana, especially in the western region. We all know the rainfall pattern, what is happening in the north, what is happening here. So it's not something that they should always depend on pictures or videos. They see, they experience it. So it makes it even easier for us to, touch on the topic and then let them understand. And then talking about other alternative livelihood also, many people do not even know that guinea fowls will do well in the western region, but they see them. They see how you do grass cutter, how you do pig on the same piece of land. So in this case, you are really helping them to understand what they never even thought of.
When is your next training, or is this all year round?
No, luckily for us, we got the German embassy, or through the German Climate Fund, to support us to widen our scope of the climate change, to get farmers to understand fully what it's about. So this is really scoped between July or August to the end of December, and we hope to really. Right now, we've been getting messages from Tamale, Volta region. When are you coming to our side? We cannot go.
So for now, it's limited to the Western region.
And
that's not fair.
Come to our aid and we'll expand to other areas.
Okay, but how does one get to be part of it?
This is targeted group. So we are dealing with 15 secondary schools.
Okay.
And then we are dealing with 3,000 farmers. that they come to our place. We show them, first of all, 1 hour about what is climate change, using global experiences, what is happening right now. Take them to our farms to showcase what we have around the factory. And then after that, we take them to the main farm, an example of truly agroforestry farm with vegetables and oil palm. And then to the ecological garden to showcase how they can also implement the same thing on their farms.
Now, that's how you solve unemployment in agric.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a good model.
If we mean it seriously.
Yeah, this is a good model. Is there a phone number? Is there an address where people can get in touch before we wrap up?
Right now, I have my personal number. I can.
So we don't want to do that.
Okay.
But if you Google B-Bovid, I'm sure you should get
it.
a lot of information.
Tractor, we can get it.
Okay.
So we also want to say thank you to the German government, because we were the only organization chosen in Ghana here to do this kind of training, and we think we really appreciate what they're doing.
All right, congratulations to you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can have a lot more conversations on the show. We can also get a lot more practical. Thanks for allowing Nathalia to experience what she did on your model farm.
We want you to come over too.
I will be happy to. I'll come with Roland. All right, so thank you so much, Seth, for passing through. And stay with us. We've got Showbiz coming up.
The climate is changing fast across the world, and its impact on humans and the planet has been dire. The warming of the globe has caused rising sea levels that have displaced thousands in coastal communities here in Ghana and around the world. Vector-borne diseases such as malaria have become more common, and Ghana has experienced long periods of drought and extreme weather conditions that have left farmers struggling.
Because of the weather, how they are falling the trees, the rains too don't come as we expect them. Because of the falling of the trees, in fact, we are suffering.
Experts are warning the situation could worsen in the years ahead. The World Bank is projecting that if not properly managed, more land will be lost, extreme weather events will destroy more of the country's infrastructure, and Ghana's agricultural GDP will decline by 3 to 8% by the middle of the century.
Over the period of about 3 to 5 years, we've realized that the rains, we get 1 or 2 rains at the beginning of the year. Farmers ration, they prepare their yam mound and the plant, and then there is a drought spell for maybe another 2 months, and the yam that they are planted get rotten in the yam mound.
To reduce the long-term cost of climate change and create opportunities for sustainable growth, the Ghana Climate Innovation Center is supporting local entrepreneurs with the knowledge and resources to develop climate-smart technologies.
It's really about ensuring that the economy of tomorrow is resilient, and we're starting that process through supporting businesses today so that they can go the long haul tomorrow.
Conrad Balig, an agribusiness entrepreneur, is one of such young people. He's been trained to adopt climate-smart agri techniques on his farm so the environment is not harmed. Every morning, he makes the 1-hour journey from his home office in Wa to Mabase in the Wa East District to work on a 6.5-acre farm.
The team I'm also working with are also becoming conscious of the fact that we are now in a certain space and we have to be careful. So you realize that some of our lands that are lying fallow right now, we have started applying organic manure to them so that by the coming year, those lands will be suitable for production so that we don't have to use fertilizer and other chemicals on the crops because of the mindset that we have actually acquired from GCIC. So we are on our farm. Nobody will be here to see what we do. But they have given us the sense of being responsible and being accountable.
Inorganic pesticides contribute hugely to productivity on farms, but they also have a negative impact on the environment. It is estimated that over 98% of pesticides reach destinations other than their target species, thereby destroying other organisms in the ecosystem. Also, pesticides tend to run off into water bodies and pollute the air. Conrad knows this too well, and so on his farm, he rather uses more environmentally friendly natural plant extracts to fight pests.
We plucked some neem leaves and soaked it and left it on the farm for 3 days. So we got the extract from that, and then we just used some to spray on the seedlings that had germinated on the nursery bed. And interestingly, we realized that we didn't have any insects eating them up. So it was quite impressive, and the germination was good.
There is harm to humans who spray artificial chemicals without the right protective clothing, because many of them suffer headaches, organ damage, catarrh, among others. But not on Conrad farms, as this farmer here explains.
We all know what chemical can do for a human when it goes into your system. But with this natural, that one day when you spray it today, even evening time, you can harvest and you can eat it. But chemical, when you spray it today, you have to wait. Some take about a week, some 2 weeks before, some even a month before you can eat it, which is very bad.